Hi, everyone. Welcome. We'll get started here in just a minute. While you're coming in, please feel free to put your name and where you're joining from in the chat so we can get an idea of who is in the room. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started to be respectful of everyone's time. So thank you all for being here today. My name is Rachel Stowe. I'm working as a contractor on the National AI Literacy Day team here at Innovate EDU. We're so glad you're here for today for the event in the Box Toolkit release as part of National AI Literacy Day, which is led by EdSafe AI Alliance, AI EDU, the Tech Interactive, and Common Sense Media. I put a note in the chat. If you'd like to put your name or where you're from joining from in the chat, you're more than welcome to. And then please, if you have any questions during the duration of the webinar, please put those in the Q&A feature and we'll have time at the end to answer those. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started with a brief overview of National AI Literacy Day. So it's a nationwide day of action that's focused on exploring the fundamental questions of what is AI and how do we prepare learners for an AI-enabled world. There's multiple things that people can expect on the day. So for educators, they have access to curriculum resources, lesson plans, and hands-on activities that really help them integrate National AI Day and AI literacy into their classrooms. For students and families, there's a variety of events that they can engage in with age-appropriate activities that kind of spark curiosity about both the capabilities and the limitations of AI, so really tying back to that AI focus. And then for communities, there are a variety of events that they can attend that help bring AI literacy into their neighborhoods. And I just really want to emphasize that AI Literacy Day is more than a day, it's a movement. So this is not just about what happens on AI Literacy Day, but also what happens afterwards. We all know that AI literacy is a foundational skill for the 21st century. So it's more important than ever that we work together to equip both current and future generations with the opportunities to safely engage with AI. And this is a movement that's happening virtually and in person across the nation. And one of the ways that this is happening on AI Literacy Day is through events, which we'll talk about today. So I just want to continue by saying thank you again so much for being a supporting organization of National AI Literacy Day and joining us on March 27th, 2026. We're just a couple weeks away now. Again, thank you so much for becoming a supporting partner. By becoming a supporting partner, you help us shape the future of AI education and ensure that learners of all backgrounds have access to the knowledge and the skills needed to navigate an AI-enabled world. So again, like I just mentioned, one of the main ways that people can engage on AI Literacy Day is through events, and our supporting organizations like you all do host these events. Events are a great way to engage your community, strengthen those connections between you and community members, and create a space for everyone, parents, students, and community members alike to learn. There are many different types of events that you can host. The most common one we see is usually a family-centered event that engages parents and or children in some type of way. There's also professional development sessions in your district or your school with staff, with teachers. There's workshops, which are a great way if you're releasing a tool or curriculum. We also have panels, of course, town halls, which I think are a really great way to kind of engage your community in some really authentic conversations about AI and AI literacy and what AI means to them. And then, of course, for those of you who want to have an event with more of a wide reach, we have webinars and virtual events that many people choose to hold. So the reason you're all here today is because this is the webinar in which we're releasing our event in a Box Toolkit, which is a comprehensive kit that we've designed to help you plan and execute a National AI Literacy Day event in your community. I will be going through all these pieces here in a minute, but I just kind of want to walk you through what it includes. So as I mentioned, this toolkit is really designed to help support easy and comprehensive planning of AI Literacy Day events, as well as market them and share invitations. So this toolkit includes a step-by-step planning guide, an activities list that's sorted by grade level and subject for those more family-centered events I talked about, email invitation and social media promotion templates, social media graphics, and a branded press release, templates that help you craft an event description and a timeline, and a branded presentation slide deck. And as I mentioned, this toolkit is able exclusively to you all, our supporting organizations for AI Literacy Day. So now I'm going to take the next couple minutes or so to kind of walk you through each of the materials that I just talked about here. As I'm walking through, please feel free to put any questions in the Q&A section, and I will address those at the end. So the first item that I want to highlight in the toolkit is our Event in a Box Toolkit Planning Guide, and this is really the first place you're going to want to start when you open this toolkit. So this has a step-by-step planning checklist that kind of walks you through every single one of the steps that you want to take in planning your AI Literacy Day event. So we are going to actually walk through this like you're planning the event. And while I'm walking through it, I'll go to the other templates and things that we're providing to kind of help you with each of these steps. So the first thing you're going to want to do is establish what type of event you'll host. As I just mentioned, examples include family events, professional development, workshops, town halls, and webinars. You can always view the National AI Literacy Day website for additional event ideas to see what other people are doing or to kind of get inspiration for things that have happened in the past. The next step, if you're hosting an in-person event, you of course want to choose the event venue and get working on some of those details. You can have it at your organization's headquarters. You could have it off-site. You could of course have it in a school or maybe in a community center, depending on your audience. So this is something you're really going to want to think about who you're trying to reach when you're working through this. The third thing, of course, is to determine date and time that the event will take place. The majority of events do take place on National AI Literacy Day, which is Friday, March 27th, as I mentioned. But a couple events probably happen a little bit before or a little bit after. So solidifying that date and that time. And then after that, you're going to want to start drafting your event timeline. So in this toolkit, we have included a draft event timeline for you to kind of go through and figure out what fits best. We have 4 potential timelines here, one for a full day event, one for a half day event, one for a 2-hour event, and one for a 1-hour event. And these are really just kind of a starting point. So maybe you're hosting a 3-hour event, which doesn't quite fit into one of those categories. So this would be a great opportunity for you to kind of mix and match those different options and see what works best for you. For each of those, we have some examples of like different activities that you could host, kind of how to break up the day, some ideas about keynotes and those types of things. Going back to our planning guide. So after you draft that event timeline, you're probably going to want to start thinking about what activities you're going to have, particularly if you're having a family event to engage parents and children. The great news is that if you are hosting a family event, we have a very comprehensive activities list that is included in our toolkit. So here's what the activities list looks like. Also, there's been a link dropped to in the chat with the link to the toolkit, so you're able to view it as we're going along if you'd like. So this activities list is meant for children ages K through 12. It's separated by grade level, subject matter, and duration. You can see down here we have a key, so we're offering activity ideas for a variety of different core subject matters. So we have general, which could apply to anything. We have reading and English language arts, mathematics, social studies, science, art, music, and specialty. In our conversations with partners, a lot of you expressed interest in engaging, especially younger children, in screen-free activities. So we also have this indication marker down here. And when you see that next to the activity, that does mean that that activity is meant to be screen-free. So you're really able to use this activities list to kind of fit the modality that you want to use in your event. So as I mentioned, each of these activities, it's 20 pages long, so there's quite a few on there. So once you've thought about your audience, you can go through and kind of see. So let's say you're doing an elementary level event for elementary school children and their parents. There's a variety of activities here. On the left-hand side, we have, of course, the title. This middle box has just a brief description, so you can kind of read through it and see if that activity might be a good fit for what you want students to learn. Those often include like the goals or the purpose of that event. And then in this box on the right-hand side, we have information about the grade level that it's meant for. You know, especially in elementary school, the difference between a kindergartner and a 5th grader is pretty great. So there are some that only apply to upper elementary or lower elementary. We have a link to the activity in question, which you can just click directly from here, a link to the website on which the activity is found, a duration. So the duration of these activities range from less than 15 minutes all the way up to 90 minutes plus. So depending on the length of your event or the number of activities you want to have, you can really mix and match to figure out what's the best fit. And then down here, we have the subject. As I said above, there's also this key with the colors, and then the colored box on the right like there's this colored border on this right-hand box that also corresponds to the subject matter. So these first couple pages are all elementary. You can see that there are quite a few that indicate a screen-free activity. And then as we move forward, there are also quite a few activities for the middle school level. And then finally ending with the high school level. As you saw in the first thing, there are also a couple subjects that say specialty. So there are some activities that are included in here for things like counseling or social emotional learning. So these are different kind of categories that you can lean on depending on what subject you want to focus. Now I want to take us back to our planning guide. So after you've decided what activities are going to happen and updated your event timeline, this is a great point for you to develop an event description. The great news is that you don't have to create one of these from scratch because we have included a template for you. So going to that template here, we have what we're calling the event description template. All of these files are view, so you'll just make a copy. You will go up here to file and then the make a copy option. I'm not signed in right now, so I'm not able to, but you should be able to. And then you can just fill in your details. So event title, most of these have Friday, March 27th as the date, which is National AI Literacy Day, but you can always change them if need be, your organization name. And then this is where you're going to want to really draw upon that timeline to think about your event components and think about the activities that you've chosen to develop kind of event goals or outcomes that you can list here. The reason that we asked you to create an event description is, of course, for you, but the secondary reason is that at this point, we want you to take a pause and submit your event details to the National AI Literacy Day website using the form that's linked here. This is the opportunity for you to submit your event to us so that we can place it on our website for marketing and promotional purposes. That link goes to someone on our team and they will get back to you if the event is approved. If the event is not approved, we're able to talk to you to address any concerns that we may have about it, and then you're able to make those revisions and resubmit. After you've submitted your event details, you can go ahead and send out invitations to your network to register for your event. Once again, we have given you all templates for the email invites, and we have 4 different templates here depending on the audience that you're working to send it to. We have one for general email that kind of is just for anybody. We have one for leadership or partners, if there's anyone more formal that you'd like to invite. We have one for education, so people that work in education or educators, depending on maybe if you're doing a PD, this would be great to send somebody to, or if you want educators to attend your family event. And then finally, we have one that's geared more towards students and parents. Again, these are just ideas, so feel free to kind of mix and match the templates as you see fit and whatever works best for your organization. So once you've sent out the invitations to your network and included the link to register, as I mentioned, once you submit your event details to us, we'll put them on the website. We'll also include those details that you've submitted to us and a link to register so that it will be another form. And then you're going to also want to work on finalizing your event agenda no later than Monday, March 23rd. We just recommend having it ready a few days in advance so that you can walk your partners or anyone on your team kind of through what you're doing. While these things are kind of happening, you're also going to want to start to promote your event on social media. And for that, we have a variety of tools to assist. So the first thing that we have is a variety of these social media post templates. Here we have them listed for LinkedIn and X, but these are also customizable. So you could translate it to potentially an Instagram or a Facebook post, depending on where most of your engagement is. And we have them separated by what kind of organization you are. So for K through 12 schools or K through 12 organizations, we have some for higher education. We also have some for just general community organizations or industry partners. And then we also have some for like parent or advocacy organizations. So again, there are a variety of templates here that you can use. And to supplement those, we also have a variety of graphics that you have access to. Sorry, sorry, y'all, technical difficulties. One moment. Okay. I will download this since it wants to be difficult. Okay, so while this is hopefully downloading, let me see. Okay, I don't think it's going to work with me. Sorry about that. But there are two social media graphics available for you here that include the National AI Literacy Day logo and some places for you to put your organization's logo and title. So those are customizable and can be put out with any of those social media items as well. So then, so those are all the activities that you'll do before your event. And then, of course, on the day of your event or on National AI Literacy Day, you'll host your event, support your community in learning about AI, and really focus on meeting the needs of your audience. We're also asking you to capture photos of your event and post to social media using the hashtag AI Literacy Day, hashtag to increase visibility and engagement. Also, on the day of, we have a press release available for you all that you can fill in your information for and then release to the public. It includes, of course, the National AI Literacy Day logo and some information about what AI Literacy Day is and indicates that you are supporting organization. Anything in brackets, and this applies to all the templates, you can just fill that in with your pertinent information. We have a quote here from Aaron Moat, who's the CEO and founder of Innovate EDU, about the importance of AI literacy. And then we also have an opportunity for you to put a quote from an organization leader or maybe someone in your community that's really involved in this work. So again, this is just an idea for a template. Feel free to put in any information that you think is pertinent. I just want to highlight here that we do ask you to put in information about your organization's role in and commitment to promoting AI literacy. So really thinking about how you're sustaining the movement for AI literacy past just National AI Literacy Day. So that's the day of your event. And of course, all the other things that come along with doing an event, you will be doing as well. And then after the event, you can, of course, enjoy the work that you've done. And then there are kind of two post actions that we ask you to do. The first is specific to your organization. So we ask you to fill out an event metrics form about attendance and engagement metrics, submitting that to our team so that we can kind of get an idea of the reach of National AI Literacy Day and the things that have been accomplished. Let me click on this form now. So as you can see, just a couple quick details: name, organization name, title of event, if you previously participated, the duration of your event. So again, half day, full day, 1 hour, 2 hour, kind of whatever fits best for you all. We ask about the target age range for the event, the total number of guests that you invited and those that attended, social media engagement, so how many channels you used. And then this last question I think is probably the most important. We ask about the AI fluency levels that were present at the event. So we have 5 tiers. Tier 1 is non-users, so people that have really never engaged with the chatbot or they're unsure of the differences between AI and Google. We have Tier 2, which are casual users, so somewhat experimented with it or used for simple tasks. We have Tier 3, which are functional users that understand basic AI prompts and can recognize different limitations of AI. Tier 4 is someone we're calling the power user, so they're using AI for complex workflows and they're familiar with multiple models. And then Tier 5, which we're calling the skeptic or the critic. So they're more focused on kind of the ethics behind AI, privacy, bias, and they're somewhat resistant to tool usage. So as you're planning your event and kind of going through your event, taking note of the AI fluency levels that you think are going to be present, and then those that are present there will not only help you put on the best event possible, but also help us collect these metrics. Back. And then the other thing that we're asking you to do after the event is, of course, send out thank you messaging to your participants, including a link to our feedback survey. So this survey, I won't walk all the way through it, but it's essentially meant for people who have participated in an AI Literacy Day event to get an idea of who they are, maybe the things that they learned, and some ideas for future years. We'll distribute the feedback from this back to you all, but the survey is anonymous, so kind of the feedback is all encompassing across all of the events. And then finally, the last thing in this toolkit planning guide is we just have some easy QR codes here at the bottom to scan. So the first one is what we call the communication submissions form, but it's also known as our event submissions form. So this is where you can submit the details of your event to be put on the National AI Literacy Day website. We also have that event metrics form that I was talking about that we want you to fill out after your event. And then finally, we have the feedback survey, which you will send to participants to fill out. Another quick kind of event planning tip: if you have time in your event, I would highly recommend putting this QR code somewhere or asking participants to fill out the survey while they're still there. They'll be more likely to do it, and their knowledge of the event will be more fresh when they're filling it out, which means the like the feedback that they provide will be more accurate. And now that I've walked through all of these different things, the last thing I want to talk about is that there is a branded presentation slide deck available to you all that is in that folder. It is actually right here. And so you are able to make a copy of this and then fill it out with, maybe you're doing a virtual event, maybe you're doing a workshop, we're working, you're working on kind of pulling some information together. This is a great way to make sure that your branding is involved here as well as ours. And then two more slides and then I'll leave some time for questions. The first, I kind of just want to talk about how you can use this event in the Box Toolkit. So all of you are at different spots in your planning. I know some of you have already begun planning and some of you have just started. So this toolkit is really meant to help you at any stage. If you're just starting out, you can use that planning toolkit to start from, the beginning and work your way through. If you're already planning, maybe you want to work more on promotion. So you're pulling the social media promotion templates or press release, using that branded presentation guide. And then again, for everyone, just making sure that you're using those branded event materials to promote your work and promote National AI Literacy Day. Also, I want to remind you as you're planning to remember the best practices of events, know your audience, so really go into it, have a serious conversation with yourself about who you're trying to reach with this and the goals of reaching them, why you've chosen that audience, and particularly along with that, setting clear goals. What do you want people, your attendees, to walk away from the event having? Keep it interactive. So using our activities list or using other online resources to really make sure that people are interacting with AI and kind of stretching their AI literacy muscles. Keep it accessible. Think about location, timing. Think about this being an event that really promotes AI literacy for everyone in your audience group and not just particular people. And then, of course, promoting your event using social media, email, highlighting the AI Literacy Day website and your place for the event on there. And then if you need further inspiration, you're welcome to check out examples of past events using that link or on our website for other events that are happening this year. And then I just want to, before I answer some questions, I just want to leave you all with some next steps. So of course, planning your event using this event in the Box Toolkit. Don't forget to submit your event using the events form that I mentioned by Monday, March 16th, so you can be included on the events page of the AI Literacy Day website and make sure that, we get good access. Of course, hosting your event and posting photos to social media using the hashtag AI Literacy Day. And then afterwards, submitting those final event metrics using the form provided, and then sending your thank yous to participants, including a link to that feedback survey. And if at any point during your planning process you need additional support or guidance, please feel free to contact our team at AI Literacy Day at innovateedunyc.org, or you can contact me personally and we can set up a meeting to talk. And my email is rachel@at innovateedunyc.org. So at this point, I am going to stop sharing my screen. And then if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I will work to answer them. Okay, I see a question. Our org is not listed on the site as supporting. Could you please add forms or complete it? Yes, we are in the process of working through this right now. And we have someone on our team that's working on updating all the logos and the events and putting those on the website. And you will receive an email once those have been added. But I will make sure to mark you especially to make sure that we can get that done as soon as possible. Are there any other questions about National AI Literacy Day as a whole or about the event in a Box Toolkit? Of course, you're welcome. Well, I will stay on for a couple minutes in case there's any questions, but thank you all for attending today for this release. We're really excited to have you on the team as a supporting organization. Please feel free to reach out anytime and have a great rest of your day and weekend.